Safety first, guys. Safety first. Sorry. Good morning, YouTubers. I hope the CRV video didn't bore you guys. But I had to take care of the CRV ASAP because I haven't touched it in like a week. So I had to address all of the important part of the car to get it ready for smog. And also because this car is my investment. So I put all my money that I've saved up to buy this car and flip it, fix it and flip it, and hopefully make a profit so I could you know, get the money back to bring my wagon back. So right now I'm headed to Subway to grab some food to eat, and then I'll see you guys back in the garage and we'll talk about what we're going to do today. Bitch, be gone. Boy, was I so indecisive at Subway. I got steak and cheese and kind of made into like a Philly cheesesteak because they don't have that anymore, but the big Philly. But so I just finished eating half of my sub. I'm gonna keep the other half for later today because don't want to feel like a fat ass. So I want to do a little bit of unboxing here, and this came to me like super unexpected a few days ago. I have not opened it yet. I don't know what's in here, but I think today I am probably going to do the fuel line conversion to -6, because if you guys remember a few videos ago, I showed you guys all the lines and fitting. Well, actually I didn't show this to you guys. Well, I did. I said that I got my box from Summit Racing in, but inside we have all the fittings we need to convert your fuel lines 2 different ways, and I'm gonna talk more about that when we get into it. That's everything there. And then over here we have my other box for fittings for random, you know, AN conversions and stuff. And I've said this before, how do you guys pronounce AN fittings? AN fittings or AN fittings? They're probably AN fittings, but I call them AN fittings just because AN is a word like AN and. So AN fittings, just to clear up the confusion. So this is brand new. I ripped it out of the box and it's just been sitting in my bin here. Just miscellaneous things like banjo fittings, turbo restrictors, and dash 10s, 90s, 45s, and so on and so forth. So I also got this package from B&R Fittings. I got 3 steel dash 10 bungs. One is going to be for the H22 in case we go turbo, and that's for you guys to determine whether I have turbo parts lying around or not. I'm not gonna turbo until we get to 20K, so I'm gonna do this on the car when I am ready to swap the oil out, so that way I can drain the pan, take the pan off, put the new gasket on, tap this while we're at it. And this right here is the dash 10, and over here I got the dash 10 cap for plugging up this guy on the pan so we don't leak oil when we're running it still as all motor. So that's that. I ordered some more aluminum dash 10s for valve cover bungs for customers and my H22 valve covers. So kind of overflowing here. I'm gonna have to move that over there. But oh, and another gasket for my GT35R return flange, because I took mine to put on Carrie's car, which was still leaking. That ended up being the freaking feed line, so got me a new gasket for that. I can discard this now. So let's get on to this guy right here, this box. I'm looking at the address here, and it came straight from a company out of City of Industry. Oh shit, I love Taco. Now I didn't open this, I didn't you know, oh, okay, so oh fuck, how come I didn't see this before? Turbocharger manifold exhaust prelude. Are you kidding me? So there's no address to where this came from. It's just shipped to my freaking address from I Love Taco. I only have one hunch of who may have sent me this, because not a lot of people have my address. And I'm gonna text him now and see if he sent me this, because this was super unexpected. All right, so this package came from a buddy Shaun out in Hawaii. And if you guys don't remember Shaun, he's part of August Cascade, _Shaun on Instagram. He's a good friend of mine. I recently linked up with him and, you know, August Cascade last year, and we became good friends fairly quickly. And he sent me a care package. If you guys remembered, he sent me a sticker care package for my cars. Got it rocking right there, August Cascade. And he has my address. So I guess the story behind this was, he tried to send me a Megan Racing header, and before that I told him don't do it, because I'm going to mess with the B series header that I had in the backyard, which was the Tri-Y. And I kept telling him don't do it, so on and so forth. And he was like, alright, okay, cool, I just wanted to make sure if you needed it, I'll send it to you. If you don't, then he won't. I told him that I was going turbo, so, you know, he instead felt the need to just do it anyways and send me a turbo manifold. So let's open this sucker up and see what's inside. I heard the bolt or something moving around in there and hitting it. It almost sounds like a tubular manifold, because no other noise sounds like thin metal. So cut away from yourself, don't cut towards yourself, it's very dangerous. All right. Oh my god, dude. This is a tubular mini ram, it looks like. Yes, it is. It is a tubular mini ram for an H22. Oh my god, Shaun, you are unreal, bro. Like, for real, this is super unexpected. I did not expect this at all. I didn't even expect you to send me anything. That's why I told you. Okay, so because we got that manifold, I'm gonna show you what else I've been given. So this wastegate right here, I found this in my bin of junk, and I guess you can say that's going to be a good contribute to the build whenever it happens. I also had a local come by and drop this turbo off to me, and he said it was small, it'll work for the build. But when he got here, this thing is not small at all. Now mind you, my hand is really freaking big, okay? But look at this. The turbo is probably bigger than my hand, especially the exhaust side. And it's an internal wastegate. So, not sure how I'm gonna go about using this. With that, if you guys know about eBay tubular manifolds, this is going to be the killer for that. So I got this a few days ago as well. He said it's brand new, it wasn't used, you can tell, no carbon buildup on the inside. It looks like a T4 flange, but the twin scroll section of it is like the length of a T3. I don't know, maybe I'll just do this off camera someday, put these together, mock it up, and see how it all works together. I'm not 100% sure how it's gonna fit, especially with the giant internal wastegate and the huge exhaust housing on this turbo. Huge shout out to Alex for sending me the turbo. Huge shout out to Shaun for sending me a manifold I did not expect. You guys are the real ones. Thank you guys for supporting me in what I do. For everybody else, I don't want to hype you up on the turbo build just yet. We still have to reach 20K before we do anything turbo related to this car. So let's get to fuel tucking. So guys, I am pretty set on doing the fuel tuck today, and I'm going to show you guys how I do it for the low. I buy all of my stuff right here from Summit Racing, and specifically the Summit Racing brand, because it's a lot cheaper than this Vibrant Performance, although they have great quality stuff. But for people like me that are broke, I buy the cheaper stuff, and proven that they work because all my cars have them. So I'm gonna slap my intake manifold on, and then put the grommet on, because I am going to be using the heater hole grommet with the 2 holes on it, one for the fuel line. So I'm going to do all of that right now, and we'll take you inside. Inside the car here, got my grommet put on right there. So like I said, this guy right here is the fuel tank ventilation, which then went to the canister, which I am not running anymore. Probably just gonna bend it nice and flush against the wall, put a hose on it, and exit it out through the AC hole, so that way the tank ventilation goes out under the car instead of in the car. The fuel guy right here, 5/16, this guy right here, what we have to do is cut wherever it is that you need to cut it. I'm gonna cut mine back here because my fuel filter setup is gonna be in the car. If you guys are running your setup outside, like the fuel filter in the bay, so on and so forth, if you guys have a heater and all the stuff that's back here that prevents this from coming out, what you do is on the inside of the engine bay, you want to pull this all the way back and clean cut this as straight as you can right here with the tube cutter or a grinder if you got some real steady hands. And then this will slide forward and out. Then this will be enough for you to put your flaring tool on it, your tube sleeve, your tube nut, whatever, or your compression tool to convert this hard line to your -6 or to accept an end fitting. So because I'm doing mine on the inside, I am going to be cutting it back here. And how I am going to route my line is I'm going to be using this compression fitting conversion to a -6 female, like so. Right here, I'm going to compress it right there, and then my fuel filter is going to sit right here, and then I'm going to have a 90 on the other end. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. I'm gonna have my 90 on my fuel filter, and it's gonna go right out the hole right here, right? So ideally this hose will go out into the engine bay like so, right? And then it's going to go to a hose end 90-degree right here and right into the fuel rail. Now, if you're running a stock fuel rail, you can get the fitting to put onto your fuel rail, which I don't have at the moment. I'll put the size of it right here in the top corner, but then what you got to do is you have to take off the see, mine doesn't even have it. So you have to remove the metal thread pipe that's right here where the stock fuel banjo line goes onto, and then thread the fitting onto your fuel rail, converting your stock fuel rail to a -6. Kind of like this. If you have an aftermarket fuel rail like AEM right here, you have to get like a I believe -8 to -6. I'm not 100%, but I'm certain that it's a -8 into the AEM fuel rail, which then converts it to a -6. If you're like me, I just pretty much welded a -6 onto my fuel rail and converted that to a -6 altogether as one unit. Then that will now then accept a -6 fitting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reuse this line right here, which already has a 90 on it, because I only ordered 190, which I had thought I ordered 2, for one for here and one for down there. So what I'm gonna do is use this guy, remove this, put a 90 on here, and then this is the perfect length from the fuel rail to the fuel filter. Ideally, when you're cutting a new line, you put like electrical tape or masking tape around here, and then you use your grinder with a cut-off disc and you cut straight down. That will prevent the nylon from fraying out. Because this line is like exactly the length that I need to run my fuel from the filter to the rail, I'm just gonna slightly shove this on here. And what you want to do is you want to get the fitting itself flush to the end of the inside thread. I don't know if you guys can see it. Pretty flushed in there, about halfway through. And then you gently thread this guy in so you don't strip it, because it's aluminum, it's very fragile. So once you catch those threads, right, there's a specific tool that you put on your vise to do this, but because I don't have it, I'm going to use a monkey wrench. Put electrical tape on your AN surface so you don't scratch it doing it this way. Me, YOLO. And it's always nice to have an AN wrench. Well, this is not the correct one, because it prevents slippage and stripping of the neck of the edge of the fitting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spin this now that we're threaded. Back inside the car, we got the fuel line connected to the fuel rail, and I'm gonna put my compression fitting 2-6 on the filter itself, so I can kind of guesstimate how far I need to cut on the hard line to get it right where I need it. So here it is. It looks like I'm going to be needing to cut somewhere around, after this bend, probably about 3 inches in. So I'm gonna have to cut probably, I'm gonna guesstimate right here, and I'm gonna be using my tube cutter. This is from Rigid, got it from Home Depot. So I'm gonna guesstimate somewhere right here. I have leeway, so even if I don't get it where I want it at, I can always move it around, bend the hard line, move this hose in and out, and get it to where I want it to. So with the tube cutter, you just, you know, slightly snug it, spin it a few times, and then keep tightening it every revolution, so that way we can get deeper and deeper into the hard line and get this portion cut off. So here we go. Eventually it'll fall right off. Pa-pow-dow, just like that. So like I've mentioned right here, you have two different ways to go about doing your fuel tuck line, converting your hard line to a -6. The first way that I've mentioned was doing the tube sleeve version, which requires the -5 tube sleeve nut. I'm just gonna give you guys like a prime example. I'm not doing it this route this time around, even though all my other cars are done this way. But so right here you have the tube sleeve, which goes in after you install the tube nut. So nut goes on first, and then tube sleeve goes on afterwards, right? And then you would use your flaring kit, right? Flaring kit is right here. Single flare, double flare. I've always used single flare because I don't have a double flare kit. You would clamp the hard line into the correct size hole, 5/16 right here, compress it down, give it about a 0.1 millimeter or so sticking out of the surface of this clamp, right? And then you put your flaring tool on here, and then you start flaring it very, 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 very slowly. If you go too fast, you can crack the flare. And you know, just take your time on it, get it nice and flared, snug this really tight. Once that is not spinning anymore, you can just take it off, unbolt this, take this off, and then the end right here is then going to be a flare end. This is a double flare. You can see how it's rounded. A single flare is like a sharp triangulated edge. And ideally the -6, in this case -5, like this one is going to sit in that hole, while that tube nut is going to compress it to keep it from leaking. So once it is compressed, pretty much all it is it gets bolted up like so, and then you can route however you want to do your fuel line from your filter, from that fitting to the fuel rail. Now if you do it this way, like I said, you're gonna have to use like depending on your filter, some filters come with different inlets and outlets. In this case, it's now converted to a -6. You would then need to use a -6 to -6 female to adapt to the fuel filter, which is a -6 male, and then run into your fuel rail. This way has too much goddamn fitting, so this time around, like I said, I am going to be doing it with the compression fitting. So with this one, pretty simple. So this is a compression ring, and what you do here is you install the tube sleeve into your line like so. Give it a good amount, and then you install your compression ring, and I like to give it a good, like maybe a few millimeters sticking out of this compression ring. So I'm gonna go ahead and push this back. This hard line has a coating on it, so it's a little harder to put this compression ring on. You can slightly scuff it up with like red Scotch-Brite, or just shove it in there, whichever one works for you. I think I may need to slightly sand this down because it's not going in. I think that's what she said as well. Much smoother. So I like to give the hard line a few millimeters out of the compression ring, so that way I know that this is going to seal. I don't think that even made sense, but logically in my head it does. So with this fitting, you pretty much just put the tube nut in, and then you put your compression ring, space it in there enough, and then you take your other end fitting here, and pretty much you just screw them together, and it will compress the hard line, then converting this line to accept a -6. So right there it stopped. And what you do is, like I said, you tighten it up as much as you can, and you're gonna feel that line being compressed with the ring, causing it to seal 100. Mind you, I cannot turn this car on to even get the fuel to prime to ensure that this is not gonna leak. We'll do that when I get the dash and everything back together and able to fire it. But right now I'm going to tighten this up and button it up. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be cinematic at all, because got some super unsteady hands. But I am done with pretty much the inside of the car as far as that fuel filter goes. So there you have it. -6 converted fuel line for your EF. This applies the same way for the EGs and other chassis. Just got to get the right fitting for your hard line from the tank to the front, and it's practically the same process. I apologize if this video was all over the place, because I already had everything set up, and I was just kind of like eager to put it in just to do some type of progress, because I've been slacking. But I think I explained it like okay for you guys to understand. But if you didn't, or if you guys are still confused, I'll put the link on the top right here for the videos that I did on my car and my brother's wagon. It's a little more thorough because I built those cars from scratch, and hopefully you guys can get a better understanding on how to convert your fuel line. All of the fittings and everything that I used in this video, and just fittings in general for Dash 6 feed lines, I'll put all the link in the description below for you guys to check it out. Mind you that this is a budget DIY type of fuel line system that you can do yourself for your car. There are other kits out there like you know, JB Tuned, Downstar, so on and so forth. I actually have Downstar for this car, and the CRX has the Submit Racing. My brother has all the Submit Racing Russell stuff. So if you're a DIY guy, this video is for you. If you're not, then you know, there are kits for you guys that can buy and easily install yourself, already pre-made. But I think I'm going to wrap it up for this video, just because I want to keep the topic related, and I don't know what else to do honestly today other than possibly maybe finish porting the intake manifold, or just do small stuff here and there like install the traction bar and the axles and stuff. I don't think you guys would want to see me sit here and do that all day like I've done in every other video. So with that being said, if you guys find this video helpful on your fuel line setup for your cars, please hit the like button. And if you guys want to stick around to see more updates on the CRX, now that you guys know I have turbo parts for it, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, because I do daily vlogs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, and take 2 days off. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.